What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Reconciled In Podcast. I'm your host, Elise Buckley, and I'm so glad to be here with y'all again this week. Always, if you're new here, welcome. Thank you for joining us today. I'm so thankful that you're here. So, as always, I'm excited to get right into it today. And the title for today is The Truth About Independence. Yeah, y'all, the truth about independence. So I want to start off with synonyms and antonyms of independence. The synonyms for independence are self-reliance, self-support, self-dependence, self-sufficiency. The antonyms of independence are dependence, reliance, impotence. The definition for dependent is relying on someone or something for aid, support, etc. The synonyms for dependent are subject to, contingent on or upon, restricted, liable. So yeah, y'all, today I'm going to just talk to y'all about my journey with independence. So growing up, I lived with my mom and my sisters, and of course, I was dependent upon my mom. She took care of me. She provided me with clothes. She provided me with shelter. She provided me with food. She provided me with stuff that I needed. She provided me with stuff that I wanted, y'all. However, it just seemed like a thing, mostly, maybe not in elementary school as much, but as I got through middle school, like just seeing and wanting to feel more independent because I was getting older. So it's like, I'm getting older. I'm not a baby no more. Like, you can't tell me what to do type stuff. And that still wasn't the case because I was still under my mom's roof. She was still providing for me. She was still, taking care of me. And yeah. So next, I turned 16. I got my driver's license. And I felt independent when that happened because my mom got me a car. And I was just like, okay, well, this is just like different. Like, now I can drive, and yeah, like now I can just go where I want. Now I could do what I want. No, that's not the case. Because like I just said, my mom got me the car, which means the car was in my mom's name. I was under my mom's roof, so I was still dependent, and had to, rely on my mom. So the next thing was I turned 18. I started working, and I graduated from high school. Now, y'all, I thought I was about to go to college. Like, if you watch my first video where I share a part of my testimony, I think I said this. I was about to go to college. I was about to cut up. I don't know. I don't know where I would have been without God saving my life. So, graduating high school, you feel like, okay, yeah, I did this, and yeah, I'm about to go to college and go to all the parties and do all this stuff. And yeah, God was like, that's not the life I have for you. So the next thing that happened in June 2021, also, if you watched my first podcast where I share my testimony, I started dealing with the health situation. And when this happened, my independence was kind of shaken because I'm like, okay, like I'm 18, I'm about to go to college and I'm about to do this and that and X and Y and Z. But with this health situation popping out of nowhere and me not knowing what's going on and everything like really falling apart, it just, one, I had to be dependent upon my mom, but then two, at a certain point, I realized that being dependent on my mom wasn't going to be the thing that saved me, if you get what I'm saying. So it's like, that's when a shift started. Sorry, y'all, if you can hear my phone. That's when a shift started to happen. And I realized that I needed to be dependent upon God, that I needed to rely on God, because God was, it's y'all, it hit different when God is the only one that can save me. Like, And sometimes it takes getting us to that position to where, and I'm not saying that God inflicts sickness, but however, I know that the enemy, whenever he comes to God, and the enemy has to have permission to do certain things. So, and anywho, that's besides the fact. But things got a little shook up there, and I'm just like, okay, like everything I thought I was finna do because I was independent, like went out the window. I still went to college, but I didn't do nothing because of the situation. But anywho, yeah. So then the next thing that happened is where I'm at now, y'all. Where I'm at right in the middle of right now. So, September 1st, 2023, I moved into my first apartment, and that's where I'm at right now. Thank you, Jesus, for providing literally mostly everything in here. Someone gave to me, someone bought for me, and everything color coordinates. It's nothing but God, y'all. Like, I didn't know what I was gonna be doing. I didn't know, y'all, but really, like, the apartment situation is the first thing that I really surrendered and trusted God with. Like, he's showing me that right now. That's the first thing that I really, like, I wrote down what I wanted and how I wanted it and stuff like that. But I allowed God to let it unfold like how he wanted it to, because I was like, okay, like if my calculations right, I'm going to be moving by like July 2024. Y'all, God said no, because that wasn't his will. It was in his will for me to move sooner. So yeah, I'm in my apartment and I'm so thankful. I am so thankful. Through this, God has showed me that he will provide, like the scripture says, that he will do exceedingly abundantly above all that we could ever ask, think, or imagine. Y'all, that is true. According to his riches and glory, that is true, y'all. He will do. And it's not only for like worldly and earthly possessions, but spiritual too. So it's like, I've just learned and am still learning that I cannot lean to my own understanding and that I cannot rely on myself to provide for myself, because like knowledge wise, I know that what I have, I should not have. What I have is not my own. What I have is God's. And that constant reminder is what keeps me here on earth. Not like literally, but just humble is what I'm trying to say. It's what keeps me humble. It's like all that I have is God's. And if I'm being completely honest, sometimes it's easy to get out of that mindset. It's easy because we have free will. We can really, we can really do what we want. But whenever you truly love God, when you truly say, hey, God, I'm going to follow you. I choose you, so I submit, I surrender, your will be done, like however you want to do it, and take your hands off of it. That means you have to actually allow God to do the thing. You have to trust is a constant thing, So it's like day to day, you have to continue to rely on and trust God. So yeah. I don't know what passage this is, but it talks about like us being able to do whatever we want, but not everything is beneficial, not everything is good, so we have the ability to do what we want, and not every good thing is what God has for us. Yeah. So it's like we may be looking at something and saying, oh, well, that it looked good. What's that sound like? Eve. She saw that the fruit was pleasing to the eye and that it looked good for food. So she ate, even though God told her not to do it. But like her eyes deceived her. She allowed the enemy to deceive her as well. And she made the choice to do what she know God didn't want her to do. So yeah, y'all. What I'm trying to say is that even though we have free will, whenever you decide to pick up your cross and follow God and choose salvation, we have to follow God. I think about if you're playing follow the leader or something with somebody, and you're supposed to follow them, follow them, follow them, follow them, like, but what happens if you just stop? Like they right here, and you just stop following. So yeah, y'all, I got a puppy, a dog. I keep saying puppy, but she's not a puppy. She's 4. Her name is Nelly, and she's actually a rescue dog. And the thing is, I've wanted a dog for a while, and it's really because being at my apartment by myself be boring sometimes, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. And I'm not even here all the time, like, with ministry and other things that I do. I'm not here all the time, but then the times that I was here just seemed so, like, boring. And it's like, okay, it would be cool to get a dog. So seeking God about getting a dog. There's this dog that I really wanted. His name was Willy Wonka. He was really young though, and I'm not sure if he was a rescue dog, but then I just found myself very consumed with the idea of getting a dog. And I'm just like, man, like, when you're excited about something, but you don't want it to become an idol. That's why I was just like, okay, like whatever happens, it just happens. Like, I know that it'll be God that allows it. So I was just trying to not look on the websites so much, because every day, every night I was looking at dogs. Every day, every night I was looking at dogs. So it's like, yeah. So, moral of the story, I ended up texting the lady about this one dog that they had named Nelly. And she is a miniature poodle. She's 4 years old. So I'm like, oh yeah, she's 4. She'll have things together. She'll know. So my Miss Nelly, I got her a couple days ago. She is a rescue dog, and she is completely frightened of me and of people and of sounds and of everything. So you can probably see her because she's sitting right there. But it's like, okay, I asked God for this. I know I wanted this, but I'm just like, God, did you want this for me? And this is just me being completely honest. And y'all, this may seem like something small, but really, like, I should probably ask God this before. Like, I did tell him, like, okay, God, if it's not your will, like, block it, make it not happen. But sometimes God will not block stuff so that we can choose what we gonna do, and whether we're gonna listen to him or whether we're not. So it's like, I'm like, I know God will provide for Nelly and all this stuff, but now it's just seeming like a lot because she's just scared of me, and just it's just not how I thought it was gonna be. It's not at all what I thought it was going to be. And I was telling my friends, oh yeah, like getting a puppy, this is really going to build my character. This is really going to, prepare me for a child. And all this, like, to the T. God is really testing me on patience right now, and just I can't force her to get out of her comfort zone. And that's just the biggest thing right now, and trying to balance things with God. I'm a end with some encouragement. God never leaves us. We can choose to give up on God. We can choose to walk away. We can choose to be distracted by God has given us the ability to choose what we gonna do. He's given us the ability to choose. But something happens when you begin to trust in God. Even with this situation with Nelly, like, this is really requiring a greater dependence on God. And I'm not gonna lie, I thought, like, God, do you want me to just give her back? Because, like, this is a lot. But I was thinking today, like, what better testimony? Like, I know that God has given me a powerful testimony. He's giving you guys a powerful testimony. He's giving Miss Nelly a powerful testimony, how she's going to overcome tremendously. And it's like, not knowing what she's been through, not knowing, like, where she's been. I know she's obviously been abused the way she's acting. So it's just like, trusting God with the process, and being totally dependent upon him and not on my own understanding. Because even y'all, this may seem so small, but I believe that God is the same in the lives of animals as he is in our lives, okay? So just as God knows, he knows what she's been through. He knows, um, wow. He knows what she's been through. He knows the care she needs. And I was going to say this earlier when I was talking about being dependent on my mom and stuff. Like, I was dependent on my mom, but my mom, in order to provide for me and my sisters, she had to be dependent upon God. Okay? So it's like with Miss Nell over here, like, I can't stress about her progress. And I know that God knows everything she's been through and how she is and why she is the way she is and what best thing she needs. But the only thing that I can do is be dependent upon God and seek him and how to handle her and in every area of my life. And he will provide. He will give you step by step. He will show you. He will show you. Let me go to Psalm 25. Okay. Psalm 25:12. It says, "Who is the man who fears the Lord with awe-inspired reverence and worships him with submissive wonder? He will teach him through his word in the way he should choose." So that also reminds me of Proverbs 3:5 that says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not to your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths." In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths. So it's like, as long as I continue to acknowledge God, as long as I continue to seek God, he will continue to direct my paths. As long as you continue to seek God, as long as you continue to acknowledge God and pray that his will be done, ask him, seek him for his will, what his will is for this time in this season of your life, and he will show you. God revealed to me the other day that through my devotional, because my devotional's been hidden, like God really been using them to really get the message across, because it be about stuff that I'm literally, smack dab in the middle of. So it talked about how you need to de-emphasize, meaning make it less important, worldly things. So de-emphasize worldly things, make it less important, and re-emphasize things of God, relationship with God, God's presence in your life. Because it's so easy to get caught up in what we can get, what we can obtain. But the thing is, and I think I said this before, but I'm going to say it again. Nothing can fill the void like God can. Nothing can fill the void that you're looking to fill but God. And it starts with dependence upon him. And I'm talking to myself too. While I'm pointing at y'all, I'm talking to myself. It starts with dependence on him, girl. Get it together. Because it's so easy to worry. It's so easy to be anxious with so much going on in the world. But what good is it to tell God I trust you and then still trying to figure things out by ourselves, which I know I do sometimes. But it's like God wants us to be anxious for nothing. That's what his word says. Be anxious for nothing. He said he has not given us the spirit of fear, but power, love, and a sound mind. Therefore, all we have to do is walk in it. All we have to do is walk in it. Submit to him and walk in what he paid for us to have. And again, I'm speaking to myself too. Because man. Distractions. And I think, I made a video about distractions. It's called Pay Attention. But man, if you let it, it will literally just get you, it'll literally consume you. But God is like, focus on me. Look at me. Seek me first. Seek me first. And I will provide everything that you need. Man, y'all, I don't think y'all hear what I'm saying right now. Seek my kingdom, my will, my way, my plan, my purpose. And what? Like, God is so good, y'all. And I never usually do this, but prayer requests for me, y'all, please just pray that I continue to be devoted to God. And that's my prayer for you guys as well, for increased devotion with God, because it's so easy to get off. In the freedom class, we're talking about how to start like small disciplines, and how to just start like small, like spending time with God. Set a timer, set an alarm for a certain time of the day, and make that time devoted to God. That's something that I really need to stick to. That's something that I started that I need to do. But anywho, just starting small, not thinking that, oh, I gotta start big, because a lot of times I start big and it go right on down because I started off too strong. When really, like Pastor Eddie, shout out to you. Like he said, if you was gonna go run a marathon tomorrow, you wouldn't just go run a marathon tomorrow. I know for me, I would not go run a marathon tomorrow. You would train for it. You would prep for it. You would start running little by little, pacing yourself, and eventually adding more and adding more and adding more, so that you can be effective, right? So it's like, it's so easy to think, oh, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this. But it's also so easy to get burnt out that way as well. It can get easy to get into ugh. It can seem like doing it out of duty, instead of out of love, out of relationship, So, y'all, I said a lot. I don't even remember a lot of what I said, but the main message of this is that apart from God, we can do nothing. So I want to read John 15:4-10, Amplified version. Remain in me and I will remain in you. Just as no branch can bear fruit by itself without remaining in the vine, neither can you bear fruit, producing evidence of your faith unless you remain in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. The one who remains in me and I in him bears much fruit. For otherwise, apart from me, that is cut off from vital union with me, you can do nothing. If anyone does not remain in me, he is thrown out like a broken off branch and withers and dies, and they gather such branches and throw them into the fire, and they are burned. If you remain in me and my words remain in you, that is, if we are vitally united through my message, and my message lives in your heart, ask whatever you wish and it will be done for you. My Father is glorified and honored by this. When you bear much fruit, you prove yourselves to be my true disciples. I have loved you just as the Father has loved me. Remain in my love and do not doubt my love for you. If you keep my commandments and obey my teaching, you will remain in my love. Again, if you keep my commandments and obey my teaching, you will remain in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commandments and remain in his love. I have told you these things so that my joy and delight may be in you, and that your joy may be made full and complete and overflowing. So that's my prayer for y'all, that your joy be made full, complete, and overflowing in the Lord as you seek him about how abiding in him looks like for you, like what he would have for you to do in this season of your life. Me as well, y'all. So it's just so good to talk to y'all again, and I just pray that y'all have a blessed and amazing week. Remember to continue to remain in God, because apart from him, we can do nothing. Bye. Peace.